Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Low Calorie Cooking Basics. This is the show where I teach you the tools, tricks, and tips that I've learned over the years for how to cook and eat on a calorie budget. This week we're taking a look at my favorite alternatives for soda. As many of you know, I've talked about it in the past, I used to drink a significant amount of Mountain Dew and just soda in general. Realistically, probably 1 to 2 liters a day, 7 days a week when I was at my heaviest. And over time, I've slowly dipped that down. I've talked about how I switched to diet soda as an easy swap in the early stages, and I used to still have diet soda on a pretty regular basis, but these days I've been craving it less and less. There's nothing wrong with some artificial sweeteners in moderation if it's something that can help you save on your calories, but I generally try to minimize that as much as possible. I tend to notice I get a bit more bloated if I have a lot of artificial sweeteners, so just over the last couple of years, I've been trying to phase them out for the most part. I'm just gonna go one by one down the list. Before I get into my official picks here, I'm going to skip over the obvious water, coffee, and tea. I love all of those drinks. They're all great options, but they are so different from soda. I wanted to focus more on fizzier drinks to give you that same satiation that soda normally would. First up would be seltzer water or soda water. This is an obvious one, but really, really tasty. You get all the carbonation without any of the extra calories or added ingredients. So while we're talking about the seltzer, I wanted to take an extra couple of minutes to show you a couple of different flavors for seltzer that I really like. First one being Angostura bitters. Bitters and soda is something I had heard of, but never really tried. I'm a big fan of any of that herbaceous sort of taste with any drinks, from tea and coffee and different things like that. I found this to be really, really tasty to change it up if you don't want anything super plain. So you just add a little bit of those bitters. You can change it to your liking, obviously, but makes for a really nice drink. The other option being just adding any sort of fruit to your water. This can be plain still water if you want, or if you want to go with carbonated water. I personally like the idea of carbonated water because you're trying to replace your soda habit. You just get a little slice of lime in there, squeeze the rest. There are a lot of flavored water options out there nowadays too. There's LaCroix, which was actually started in the Midwest. LaCroix was around all the grocery stores in Michigan before anyone had really heard about it. My wife and I drink most of the time, we'll just drink the seltzer plain, but either of these two options are both really tasty if you want to add in some extra flavor. Next up, this has been a new obsession of mine, and that is kombucha. Kombucha is a sort of fermented tea that people will spice and flavor with all sorts of different flavors. This one is just a super herby, what is it in here? Lavender, chamomile, rose, so you have a really good floral flavor. I'm not talking about this brand specifically, but kombucha in general is super delicious. There are a few extra calories in here, and there is a little bit of sugar in here, so this isn't a 0-calorie replacement to soda, but this giant 14-ounce bottle is only 60 calories, which is super reasonable and far less than most sodas. The other reason why, for me, it's okay to deal with a little bit of extra sugar, the kombucha and any fermented foods will really have a good positive impact for your gut health. It can help a lot with digestion and having that good bacteria in your body, and those probiotics can be very, very helpful. I'd had kombucha before, but I recently tried this brand and this flavor and just absolutely fell in love with it, and I've been buying probably a bit too much of it lately, but it's so good, and I would urge all of you, go out there and try kombucha if you haven't. I know it sounds like this weird hippie drink, probably coming from Portland here, but try it if you haven't had the chance. It's super delicious. All right, and the third and final option, I'm gonna group both of these in together, and that is unsweetened energy drinks. I used to drink a lot of energy drinks in addition to the absurd amount of Mountain Dew I used to have every single day. But in recent years, with LaCroix being popular and all of those different options being more popular, I've been seeing more and more completely unsweetened but still flavored energy drinks come onto the market. These two are my two favorite favorites by far. They're both really delicious, just a little bit of a different taste. I've seen Highball around back when I lived in Michigan. I've never actually seen this brand before until I moved to Oregon, so I'm not sure if it's a local thing or not, but Highball and Runa both make unsweetened, 0-calorie energy drinks, so you're not having to deal with any extra artificial sweeteners. I still think it's delicious. You get all that satisfaction of soda without any of the sugar or any of the artificial sweeteners. But that was all I had for this week, everybody. Hopefully you all learned something and maybe you haven't tried one of these, and hopefully you go out and try it. I strongly recommend all of these different drinks. After years and years and years of being just completely addicted to soda and Mountain Dew, now if I had the option, I would choose any of these over a Mountain Dew any day of the week. So keep that in mind. Run out to the store if you want to give these a try. I'll be sure to link, if I can find these on Amazon, I'll link them in the description. But I'd love to hear, what was your best method or replacement for soda for those of you that have gotten rid of your soda addiction or just don't have it anymore? What worked for you? Let's get a good discussion going for everybody. But as always, be sure to subscribe if you're new. Put out new videos every Monday and Friday. And be sure to like the video if you enjoyed this, helps me out a ton. But until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.